Well, we're funded. Congratulations, Kickstarter. This means that, well, you guys will be getting the rewards and we'll actually be able to create the product. We're pretty excited about it. Thanks to you guys, we wouldn't have been able to do it without you. We don't really have the money to be spending on celebration stuff, so this is actually like a $3 bottle of sparkling apple cider, not any expensive champagne or anything like that. But hey, it's a day to celebrate. We didn't get to celebrate last time, well, at least in an update for you, because we had actually filmed that earlier that day before we were funded. But we wanted to, well, to thank you guys for everything you've done for us, and that we're really excited to bring this to you. Today we're going to be hitting on a few small topics rather than having one overarching theme. To start off with, we'd like to kind of, as we're coming nearer to the end of this Kickstarter, kind of focus a little bit more towards what you guys can expect in the final product. As we're kind of tapering off, don't have a whole lot of time left, we're not expecting to reach some of our higher level Kickstarter stretch goals. And so to be able to give you guys what we've noticed that you really want, we're going to be trying to pack more into the core rules. We still have a page limit that we have to deal with, but we feel that we should be able to pack in some of the extra rules that we would have otherwise put in some of the rule supplements, like the World Compendium. And we especially want to put in some content at the end, since we noticed that so many of you were interested in the GM's Content Compendium. This obviously won't be a full-scale, full-sized book like the GM's Content Compendium will be when we get it published someday, but we wanted to get some of those resources into your hands. At the bottom, if you wouldn't mind commenting about what genres you'd be looking for. We were kind of thinking about just aiming towards fantasy and sci-fi, maybe do some modern stuff as well, but we'd like to hear what you guys are hoping to see in content-wise at the end of this, so be sure to leave some comments for us. As we already said, or as I already said, we're going to try to pack in some more of the rules, and so the rule book is going to be kind of distributed out into three major sections. You'll have your start off as the core rules, this is how the game plays, and then you'll have a second section that are modular rules that are things that we felt were really important to get to you, but aren't actually necessary for the game. It'll be stuff that you would have seen in the expansions, the rule supplements. And then the third section is going to be the appendices that have, all of the character sheets, the chart, or any cost charts to speed things up for you or anything like that. And we also want to have an appendix that has, as we said, the GM Content Compendium. Another thing that we're wanting to do is be able to release to you guys a digital copy of all of the character sheets and stuff, so that you don't have to hassle with your book over a printer trying to get a good scan of the character sheet or anything like that. Make it so that it's quick and easy for download for anybody to use. The other small topics that we were wanting to touch on, first off, we'll talk about maps. That's something that we've left out of the demo, partly because we didn't want to make the demo too complex, and second off, because it's one of the things that we've been kind of still working on a couple of the fine-tuning features of. But the way that maps work in this, rather than working on a grid system or a hex system, it works in a zone system. We found that with a lot of the grid systems, combat became very static. You would have your character walk up to an enemy, and then rather than actually practicing cool footwork or something like that, you would just stand there and beat them, because if you moved, it was an attack of opportunity or something like that. And that felt very unnatural. And so we've set it up with this zones idea that allows you to be able to describe some fun actions that actually match up with the type of role that you're making, that without having to make movements on a grid that could lead to attacks of opportunity or bad tactical decisions, something like that, where you're going to spend a bunch of time in your turn staring at the board, working out, I guess, chess-style moves. We felt that slowed down combat. It's fun in some systems, but it doesn't allow you to keep the combat flow. The second thing with the zones is, with this zone system that we have, is that it makes it so that you can apply traits to zones, rather than having to calculate out, this is the amount of inches in diameter that I get for a smoke screen or something like that. You apply traits to zones, and so if your ninja character jumps into a room and he can drop his smoke bomb and use rules very similar to the status effect rules that you've already had a chance to see and hopefully play with, to apply smoke screen to a zone, and this way characters can apply this properly and it can keep running smoothly for you. And the third thing with this zones is that it simplifies movement. Characters will only be able to move one zone per turn, and most of the time they will only be able to either move or make an action. There's also a charge action that they can make that will allow them to move and then act at a cost of 3 successes, but this keeps it running quickly so that once again you don't have a whole lot of time taken up as the player debates, well, do I want to move my character here, 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 and then pull off this, or do I want to move here, 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 and pull off this? It helps speed up the motion. Also, as you've noticed, you don't actually have to play with maps. This isn't a figurines game, it's a role-playing game. The maps are there as a great supplement to increase the tactics of a game, or to increase the visualization of a game, but it doesn't stop the game if it's not there. Another thing that we were wanting to talk about today is something that we've been working with and fine-tuning lately, the idea of world traits. This is something that is overarching for your world. Not necessarily for the entire globe of your world, but for the area that you're playing in. These, we found, are very fun to play with. You've got a couple of different ways that you can use these. Simple things like a way to make your characters feel like they really are foreigners in a strange land, for example, applying the world trait foreign language. That's something that can be rolled against them whenever they try to perform a social interaction. Or you can, if prophecies and things like that are important in your world, you can set those as world traits that dice can be rolled as a player says, this is in fulfillment of the prophecy because of this and this and this. And GM can say, yeah, that makes sense. And he rolls the dice of the prophecy to help further that along so that it feels like destinies are being molded properly. Another really fun way to use these world traits is to make up exciting magic systems with your world. That's one of the things that we've wanted to make, is that to put together these modular rules in such a way that you don't feel like it's just another game on the D20 or on the Epic Worlds or on the Fate system or something like that. And with this, we've played with an idea of making it so that, for example, there could be an ambient energy in your world that is applied as a trait. And that when that's used up, perhaps even apply it to the newly released to you guys, the energy trauma bar. And when that is expended, what happens to the world? Have you opened a rift into the nether? Have you just burned things out? Have you maybe dealt an area attack? Or rephrase, has the energy exploded in such a way that it deals damage to everyone in the area? There's all sorts of different ways that these things can be applied very simply using the modular rules that we have. We'll finish up today with just a little bit of a spotlight. As we've been looking around at things, ran into a really cool role-playing world that's being made. If you get a chance, you should really check it out. It's called Altice Age of Ruin. We'll put a link down here in the update for you as well. It's really got a cool world setting. It's set in a dystopian fantasy where magic has brought about some problems for people. It's a very beautifully crafted world. They've got beautiful artwork, and, well, they're coming along fairly well. So please check it out if you get a chance. It's definitely something that we're looking forward to seeing. We once again want to thank you for all of your help in getting us here. And, well, to let you know a little bit about our future, about where we're planning on going, we'd really like to take this into a Comic-Con at some point, to be able to spread the news. So keep your ears open for future updates about where we're heading with that. We'll see you later. Thank you very much.